going to record. Well, all right, everyone. Welcome to the social media strategies for the 2024 Giving Challenge. Thank you all for being here. We're so excited to have Dana come back and do this training for us as she did it in the past before Giving Challenges. Always happy to work with her. My name is Odie Monday, the manager of nonprofit services at the Community Foundation of Sarasota County. You've probably have had email correspondences with me about the Giving Partner or the Giving Challenge, nonprofit newsletter. That's me. So sorry if I've upset you in any way, but let me know that feedback. If I have, it's important. But a couple of announcements before we get started. I, as well as my colleague Erica Kelly, are here to help monitor the chat. If you guys have any questions for Dana, Dana will also be looking at the chat, but we'll be happy to just let her know if she misses your question to tell her about it. And she's happy to keep this training as conversational as possible so that you guys can ask your questions and get those answers that you want. Our next training is going to be on February 15th related to strategic communications for the Giving Challenge. So make sure you guys sign up for that. And because you're here at the live training, you'll actually have the opportunity, if you want to participate in a small group session with Dana, to ask her questions and give her some ideas that you're thinking about for your campaigns this year. We do have limited spaces for that, so keep an eye out for your emails. We'll send you a specific sign up link to join one of those small group sessions with Dana. And also, our team will start sending out emails to team leads about specific Giving Challenge, either events or things to look out for if your organization wants to sign up for prize applications or do pop-up giving stations. Emails like that will start going out to team leads soon. But now to introduce Dana. Dana Snyder is the host of Missions to Movements and creator of Monthly Giving Mastermind. Her mission is to equip nonprofits with the knowledge of how to use social media ads to attract potential supporters to their cause and create sustainable giving models by building monthly giving programs for everyone to become a philanthropist. I'm happy to pass over the mic to Dana.
Thank you. So excited to be with everybody. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And we have this really new nifty feature that we just established prior to going live. So am I a really cool floating head for everyone above the presentation? This is a new way where you don't have to look at the box over on the right-hand side. Yeah, it's cool, right, Ian? I think so. Okay, so if any way this gets weird or it's distracting or you can't see something on the slides, let me know. But I think we'll leave it for now because I feel like I'm just gonna jump out at the screen and I'm really in person with you. So excited to be here. We're gonna be talking about not only social media, but overall digital marketing for the Giving Challenge. And it's really cool to be here with you because 12 years ago, pretty sure it was 12 years ago now, I was a part of the very first ever Giving Challenge that the Community Foundation helped put together in 2012. Yeah, right? Was that the first one?
That was the first one.
Am I right? Okay. Yeah, so really neat to be here with you now. And so 2 years ago, we did a training session. And something I had wished at the time that we had is because this hour goes by so quickly and it's a lot of me sharing ideas with you, is I wish we had brainstorm sessions where you could take the information back, decide what you wanted to action on, and then be able to get feedback and continue brainstorming. So that's exactly what we decided to do this time. So there are 2 sessions that we have set up. As she mentioned, they're going to be smaller groups so that I have the time to be able to kind of do some hot seats and give personalized feedback. So the goal is today I'm going to share a lot of ideas, information, inspiration. You can then go back with your team and say, awesome, we have started to put together our initial strategy plans. Then you can sign up, join me for the February 12th session. We can review those strategies and plans. And then again, we can continue to iterate them. Maybe you can even start working on some pieces of content. For example, if you want to come and bring email drafts, if you want to come and you want to bring social media posts, if you want to, whatever, like those 2 small brainstorm sessions are meant for me to literally review things. I'm not going to be teaching. There's no presentation. It is going to be hot seats where you can share your screen and I will be reviewing things with you. So there are 2 dates for that. So just wanted to let you know. And then for today, I wanted to give a different approach to thinking about the Giving Challenge. And a lot of what we're going to talk about today is we have roughly 2 months of pre-planning time. So I really want to talk about how do we prime your supporters to be ready to give for the Giving Challenge using digital marketing? How can we specifically use Facebook and Instagram ads to keep you top of mind leading up to the challenge? And then we're going to talk about social media, like platform specifics for you to stand out. And I'm going to even ask you when we get to that point, like what channels do you want to focus on? And we can kind of have a casual conversation. So throwback, I mentioned this at the beginning, but throwback to 2011, I was the director of development. Gosh, what was I? Marketing and development. Didn't even remember my title. It's been a long time. Director of Marketing and Development for Take Stock in Children, and led the infamous flash mob at a Van Wezel outdoor concert series event that ended up getting picked up by the Huffington Post and was a blast. And so I am very familiar with so many of your organizations and the Giving Challenge, and very excited to be here with you today. I had a wonderful intro already given, so I will not overdo it, but I have a podcast that I pour my blood, sweat, and tears into that I love, that's all about sharing marketing case studies for the nonprofit and social impact space. So if that is something that you are interested in checking out and always learning new ideas from fellow peers, I put the link in the chat and would love for you to check it out. So I want to do some mindset kind of level setting here at the beginning. I think there's this notion that we have to post on every single channel and create content for everything. And I really actually want to go against that notion to say, don't do that. It's going to cause you a headache. It will cause overwhelm, and likely that you don't have a very active, engaged audience on every channel. You know where your people are. So for this specific event, where does it really make sense to pour into to do some really creative things? So think about, don't feel the pressure of trying to be on every single social platform, and figure out maybe where those really strong 2 channels that make sense for you. Secondly, prepping your audience starts now. This is something where I strongly recommend don't wait until just the week before. Start to do some work now, and we're going to go through ideas for that. And then lastly, and really most important, I believe there are 2 questions that you need to start to answer for your donors. And keep these 2 questions, and I would even like write these down, take screenshots of these. Remember to keep these questions top of mind in all of your communications. So number 1, why do you need the funds now? Right? We all just came out of Giving Tuesday. We came out of the end of year. What is relevant right now for your organization? What is going to be happening in Q2, Q3 of 2024? What are your needs? What's happening? Be so honest with your supporters, because we want to be able to paint that visual picture in our minds. So this is the first question. Why do you need them now? Why does the money being raised during the Giving Challenge specifically, why is it so important for you? And number 2, what impact will their gift make? What will their gift help you accomplish? And the biggest thing here is, don't forget to tell them when you do accomplish that thing. Don't forget to make sure that that communication after the fact is happening, or while it's happening. So those are the 2 questions that I just want to keep top of mind. Why do you need them now? The now is the key part here. And what is the impact that their gift will make? So I wanted to share a very relevant example. I worked with an organization, the Clio Institute, for their Give Miami Day, the exact same premise of the Giving Challenge, but just located in Miami. Theirs is ran annually. And in 2022, they had 98 Give Miami Day donors. And then last year, when I worked with them, we were able to get 311 Give Miami Day donors. Their goal was 200. They wanted to double it. We exceeded that. And so this was a really perfect timing where I was able to go back and be able to share with you how. How was that possible? What exactly did we do? Because they are very similar circumstances. And it's also an organization based in Florida. So with that, as we go along, I just want to repeat what was said earlier. And if you have specific questions as I'm going through things, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And I will answer you in as live as real time as possible. So pre-event. If you're taking notes, I'm going to kind of break it up to pre-event, during event, and we're going to talk a little bit about post-event too. So pre-event, the reason for why we had success with the Give Miami Day with Cleo was we started with a very intentional pre-event strategy. This is the phase that we're all going to start with right now. And so I have a checklist for you that we're going to go through. So I'm going to go through a checklist and then I'm going to share exactly what we did at Cleo. So the first kind of category here, I'll call it, is your omni-channel approach. Is how can you make sure that you are being seen on the different channels that your audience might be and how they're going to decide to engage with you. So first and foremost, if there is a type of theme that you're going with for your organization this year, that was really helpful for us for Cleo, because it helped us create messaging. It essentially, our theme was like a mini product where therefore we created graphics around it. We even had like our branding, visual colors were around it. It just gave us like a central route to focus on, in other words, that allowed us to like create all the additional comms. Email, thinking about our email strategy pre-event was really important. If we were going to do, which they didn't end up doing, any text messaging, but if you have capabilities to do SMS text messaging, I highly recommend starting to think about that. Social media plan for coming up with what are those 1 to 2 channels that you're really going to focus on? How often are you able to post based on everything else that you have going on? Snail mail. Is there a snail mail that you can send out? And we'll talk about some ideas, but save the date kind of stuff, or even a thank you from 2 years ago, like remember us kind of thing. I think it's really powerful when we approach doing social, email, snail mail, when we're being able to target people in a multitude of marketing channels. An experience. Is there a physical experience that you can put together? This could be really powerful for maybe 2 years ago, you had some incredible like peer-to-peer champions that came out and supported you. Is there a dinner or a fun happy hour or some type of event where you can gather some of those like super fans together to talk about and brainstorm, like bring them in to talk about this year? And then lastly, podcast and speaking engagements. In the chat, has anyone here, have you ever shared your organization story on a podcast before? Just drop me in the chat. You can do a Y for yes, N for no. Okay, I see some no's. Have you been a guest? Yeah, Joyce, yes. Okay, some yeses. Let's see, no, but oh, used to host a podcast. Okay, Jessica. Okay, lots of N's. So I wanted to share, go ahead and take we all know how to use QR codes, I believe it. You take the camera on your phone. Most restaurants do it now and scan it. I have a list for you of 30 plus podcasts specific to the social impact nonprofit sector, where it's a list of 30 plus nonprofits for you to pitch your story to. And I would specifically be, and I also have a video included on this list. It tells you the listener size per month. It gives you the name of the podcast. It gives you the contact, like how to apply, if it's an application or if it's a direct email, the contact info. My show is on there. Pitch me to be on my show. This is an easy win. This will get your name out in front of hundreds, thousands of other organizations when you do this. And I love podcasts because you can tell them specifically, hey, I have a giving challenge on April 9th, 10th. Is it possible for this to be pre-released right around that time frame so that it's relevant? And then within your podcast conversation that you are going to be continuously mentioning, oh, yes, we have this giving challenge. Our plan for this local giving day is X, Y, and Z. So anytime that you have a podcast opportunity, it is an incredible free way to get awareness out. And then actually, if they can have it go live on literally the 9th or the 10th, that would be golden if the podcasts get released on that day. Because then you can actually have them link to your Giving Challenge page. Number 2 on here, as I said, speaking engagements. If you have corporate partners, and I'm saying look through anybody that has been a table sponsor of an event or just overall sponsor of your organization, make a list. Do they have any lunch and learn events? Ask them and say, hey, for February, March, if it happens to be the beginning of April, I would love to promote ourselves as being a lunch and learn and share about the organization with you. And there's also, I believe, a prize for partnerships. Is that correct? Am I making that up?
There are nonprofit partnerships and business partnership prizes available.
Beautiful. Okay. I thought I remembered that. Yes. So Ted, yes, it's definitely about being local. But for instance, I'm from Sarasota, but I live in Atlanta. So I would love to remember or be jogged my memory that this is happening in a community that I'm passionate about. Now that Sarasota is on the map. I'm sure you know it because traffic is bananas there now every time I go and visit. And people have come in from all over the place and are listening to all sorts of types of podcasts. So it is perfectly fine to find people that are excited to support you no matter where in the world that they live. Amen. Okay, so podcasts, very important. Secondly, pitch those corporate sponsors to be a lunch and learn, or they might have some type of webinar or event that you can share. The next thing that I want you to do after we do this kind of omni-channel approach brainstorm is segmentation. This is important. Specifically, who donated to the Giving Challenge in 2022? If you participated 2 years ago, we need to break out that list of who has previously donated. Then look, have they donated since? Have they become a multiple year donor? Are they a monthly donor? We want to segment out those past Giving Challenge donors. And then we also want to segment out who has never given to a Giving Challenge in the past. And then 2 years ago was a long time. There's been a lot of things going on in the past 2 years, right? If you had a postmortem or a recap from 2022, we want to bring that back out and give it a little look and see what worked, what didn't, what moved the needle. You might even have to, if staff has changed, you might want to go back and look at what were the posts, what were the emails that we sent during this time frame, what was successful, and really just outside of the fact of what worked, what didn't, it's also a very different climate now, right? I mean, 2022, we were just coming out of the waves of COVID, and so much has changed in the past 2 years. So when we do our segmentation, I want us to start to look at our previous Giving Challenge donors, because this I would kind of consider, right, our low-hanging fruit, people who have been there for us, they know what it is. So we want to look at what can we do with this group of people. The first thing is we want to set up a warm-up email sequence. And again, we want to make sure that we have carved these people out so that we're not sending it to everyone. The first email you're going to send is going to be a thank you. Just a thank you. It might have been a long time. Hey, I just want to say thank you for your support. Kind of a remember when, a little bit of nostalgia back to the Giving Challenge in 2022. Email number 2, we want to send a program update. Again, this goes back to that first question about what's timely. This program update should not say, since 1987, we've been, no. In January, in February, in the next 90 days, this is what we're working on, right? Make it so timely and relevant. Number 3, email number 3. I love videos in emails. You can use free, awesome tools. ThinkView is not free, but it's brilliant for nonprofits. If you want to look that up, ThinkView. Video Ask, Loom, both have free accounts that you can take videos. They look like GIFs when you put them in an email and you click and you get to watch it, and it's short and sweet. This can be from a staff member or from somebody who has benefited from your program, and share about the giving challenge. Make it super raw, super real. I love they work the best when it's just selfie style on a phone. And it's like, hey, just wanted to remind you, do you remember 2 years ago when we raised X amount of money and we were doing blank? Oh my goodness, look where we are now. This is where our needs are. I think it's really fun and creative when it is a beneficiary. So I know that there are organizations who do not just benefit people, but there are some brilliant animal organizations in Sarasota too. And yes, send a video of a dog or a cat or a bird or whatever it is that you do. If you are able to film kids and have the permission to do that, that's super fun. You can be really creative and personalized with this. In the third email, that is the video that is just talking about 2022 and then talking about this year's needs. And then email number 4 is a save the date. So very simple, plug it on your calendar. I really love it if you literally have an invite. There's what is the tool called? There's a free like calendar tool where you can literally plug it in and it adds a calendar invite to someone's calendar. Because you don't want to just send the invite and then hope that they decide to remember. But if you can actually get on their calendar and it marks it, that's really powerful. Samantha's asking a great question about how much time spacing between these emails. I would say if we're looking at the beginning of February, by the time that we would start to get these together, give yourself a month and a half to space these out, because you want to make sure that the save the date gets to them with enough time for them to have it on their calendars. And then at the same time as these are trickling out is we want to have some snail mail, if possible, if that's within your budget. And again, snail mail, I recommend a thank you postcard. You can do a question of, will you be a peer-to-peer champion, or whatever the name is that you call those people. That's really powerful. And then a save the date postcard or depending on how much you have in your budget for snail mail. But I think always sending a thank you is powerful, and always having like an extra save the date that can be like a refrigerator magnet kind of thing. So these are our previous giving challenge donors. For those that have not given to a giving challenge before, we still want to warm them up. This email sequence has 3 emails instead of 4. And we want to tell them a little bit about what it is. What is this giving challenge that we're talking about? What did you accomplish 2 years ago if you did participate in it? If not, you can just explain what it is so people are aware. And then the second email is going to have the save the date. So this is going to be sent a little bit later because you only have 3. And then same thing, you're going to share your current needs and your goal for this challenge. Snail mail, really recommend the save the date postcard. So those are the differences. Janet is asking, can you explain the P2P thing? Yes. So there's an option on your giving challenge pages for people to sign up as fundraisers on your behalf, where they can then invite people to like fundraise for their page. That was one way with Clio for Give Miami Day that they saw a lot of success because friends want to support their friends. So if you had people 2 years ago that did that for you, I would highly recommend inviting them again. And then if you have some new super fans to your organization or new board of directors or ambassadors that would be a good fit, I would highly recommend engaging them to do this. I love Deb's question. Deb sent this to me separately, but will the slide deck be distributed? My hand is cramping from note taking. Don't let your hands cramp, but I am very honored that you're taking all the notes. Yes, I will be happy to share the slide deck with you. Yeah, you're very welcome, Janet. And I would recommend kind of for any peer-to-peer fundraisers on your behalf, a pre-event with these people could be really fun. Kind of like get them excited, let them come to you with ideas on what they want to do. Maybe they want to have group text threads throughout the day where they're like talking to each other and let them be a part of the experience. Andrea had the same thing. Okay, so now I've given some ideas for pre, and I want to show you what we did for Clio. So our strategy, our Clio Institute, is all about the climate challenge and what's happening in specifically, well, Florida in general, but around Give Miami Day, we were talking about Miami. Miami had record high 90 plus temperatures last year. And so and that was in the news all over the place. So it was something that was very relevant, very topical to the organization. So we decided that our theme was going to be change the forecast, invest in a climate resilient Miami. And we decided to come up with what were some key stories and statistics to share relevant to that theme. So again, this helped us kind of be able to centralize or like come up with our ideas for what the content was going to be. We decided to focus our efforts primarily on Instagram. That's their big channel. And Reels and carousel posts are still the winners as far as content goes there. And in advance of Give Miami Day, and I'm going to play a few of these for you, we just wanted to get people excited. And we wanted people to engage with us so that we could know who was excited and engage with them back and send personalized messaging. So you'll notice we published 5 reels on Instagram, and I will play one for you in a second. Our call to action, the CTA for these reels, because again, similar to what you experienced with the Giving Challenge, pre-April 9th, 10th, your website's not live. It's not able to be donated on. So you have to figure out, great, where are we directing people to? We just wanted people to say, I'm in. The call to action literally in the comment was, if you're in to support us for Give Miami Day, comment I'm in. And then, so we had 5 reels that spoke to, they have like 5 key programming areas in their organization. So that made sense. That's why we did 5. We did 5 carousels, same thing. I will share the carousels with you too, talking about those 5 program areas. And then we sent out 4 emails in advance. So before I go to the rest of the strategy, I'm just going to go ahead and play this video for you.
Hi, my name is Brittany, and 1 year ago I joined the Gen Clio Youth Movement, powering climate action. Since then, I have worked along other young people fighting for a more climate-resilient Florida. Clio has empowered me by giving me the tools and education necessary to be a stakeholder in the well-being of our planet, and to teach others how to do the same. In just 2 years, Clio has grown from 400 members in 2021 to a whopping 3,000 members by 2023. That's a 625% increase. Gen Clio members have secured funding for the City of Miami's Office of Resilience budget, and spearheaded the first ever Miami-Dade County Youth Climate Roundtable inside the mayor's office. Together, we are speaking truth to the power of grassroots movements, moving the needle and fostering real change. Your support can help continue this incredible growth and inspire even more young minds to take action on climate change. Together, we can change the forecast and create a brighter and more resilient future for Florida. Can we count on your support to help power the way this Give Miami Day? Comment I'm in down below if so.
So you'll notice a couple things in that video. She was talking about progress, things that had happened. It was a very simple reel. It's going between her talking directly to her iPhone and B-roll footage that they had taken from their iPhone from events throughout the year. She was sharing how things have grown. This was specific to Gen Clio. This is their youth program. And then at the end, she said, can we count on you to help change the forecast? Comment I'm in. And then there was a whole bunch of comments. The great thing about comments and even people who liked this video is we can see who those people were and we can send them direct messages when it was time for the campaign and send them directly to the Giving, in your case, the Giving Challenge website. The other thing that we did, and I will speak to, is we launched lead generation ads. Lead generation ads are meant to grow your email list. They're meant to get new emails from people. If you have social media supporters, a lot of them might not even be on your email list. So we want to target them, and this is what we did with them, to be able to join our email list so that we can invite them to join Give Miami Day. And my dog wanted to join. Hold on. Sorry for the puppy. So we launched on the left-hand side here. This is an example of one of our ads. Miami, our beloved city, is at the forefront of the climate crisis. Download our free poster to show your support, share on Instagram, print out, or email to a friend. So we designed in Canva this really simple change the forecast poster, printed it out. They took photos around Give Miami. And we had, so that was the exchange. So in exchange of your email, you would receive this email with a digital file of this poster that you could print out. The second ad that we ran, which again, I'm assuming is going to be similar with your platform, we could not track donations with ads because we didn't own like the website that donations were being processed on. So we just ran a traffic ad campaign. So just getting people to the website. And so we ran that during Give Miami Day. Our pre-event timeline was October 17th through November 12th. So it was rough, just shy of a month is when we did all of this. The next thing that we did was we significantly reduced the giving confusion on their actual giving page. In 2022, they had 9 giving amounts. You can see on the left-hand side from $60 to $10,500. It was quite a large range. And we drastically reduced that to 5 that aligned specifically with our theme, our pre-event messaging, and we looked at data from the prior year. And I would recommend you do this for 2022 if you participated. What were the average, like mean amounts that people gave? And to try and fit those. So we, in all of our marketing comms, it also helped to make it clever. So $44 aligned with, there was a 44-day stretch of 90-degree weather, $97. It was the average temperature in Miami that summer. 350 was the number of women that had graduated for their Empowering Resilient Women program. So every dollar amount had a purpose, had a reason, which was kind of fun, aligned with it. And then we also saw a really good chunk of donors coming in around this like 350 area with doing that. The other thing that I had previously mentioned was the I'm in, and I don't think this one's clickable. I have to share the 2 links with you. But I've done this with another client as well. If you are a small team and you're just like, I just do not have the time to be going through DMs and responding to everybody in a timely manner and then sending them a DM and making sure they get everything, there is a brilliant tool called ManyChat, literally many and then chat. And I will share my screen at the end to show you the behind the scenes of this tool because I have it on my Instagram right now as well, where you can set up where if somebody responds with I'm in, or for the adventure project, we were doing a baby registry. So you comment baby and it automatically sends a pre-written comment response that you've drafted, and you have like 3 or 4 options. So it doesn't look like you're saying the same thing all the time. And then it automatically sends a DM message to them with whatever link or resource that you want. So this is extremely beneficial and feels super personalized, just as an idea of being able to get some traction at the beginning. Oh, and I did have an example. So this is kind of what it looked like for the adventure project. So you set up user comments on your post or your reel with X keyword that you decide, and then you can put together your custom name. This was done at the beginning of our challenge. It has insane open rates. Like there is no way that you have 100% delivered, 100% open, 75% clicked in your emails. Like doesn't happen. But this is what happens on social media because social media direct messages, and this can also be used on Facebook, are so much more personalized and casual. And you get those push notifications on your phone. So again, this is ManyChat, and I will share a link at the end. So that's one thing that we did. We also, I mentioned, we did these carousel posts. So another one of their programs is climate speaker training. And so we talked about specifically, right, in 2023, more than 100 residents were trained to be climate speakers. We had a template for these reel or carousels. They all had a title. We explained what it was that the program was doing in slide 2. And there was a call to action to donate this Give Miami Day and help with the Change the Forecast poster. So it was just 3 slides, and each of them were focused on their different cause areas of their organization.
Dana, we have a question in the chat.
Yeah.
Someone asked if they get on a podcast, what do you think would be a good call to action? Maybe a link to their website to register as a supporter, or any other ideas?
Yes, dependent. I would ask most of the time, the podcast host should have a general idea of when they think the episode's going to go live, and that will help determine, will you have a live link to send them to directly to donate? If not, I would have some sort of lead magnet that is like a valuable resource. I run a Grow Your List Leads Challenge where we talk a lot about developing a lead magnet. And one of them that did really, really well, for example, it's an organization, it's called Roots Ethiopia. And so they had an Ethiopian cookbook and they had recipes that they shared. So what's a way that essentially you can get somebody on your email list and you can share that direct resource on the podcast? So yes, I would say to register as a supporter, but if you have some sort of thing that you can give, there was another organization that's focused on anti-bullying. And so they had like a free download of like 5 tips to help stop bullying, right? You can think of what does your organization do? And what's something that might be fun and helpful. One that I brainstormed for, Dress for Success. They're an expert in trying to get women hired. And so one thing was like, is there a resume template that you could share? Something that people you think would want to download and in exchange give their email address. So something like that. The next thing that we talked about doing regarding social media, and this is something that would be really fun to host internally for your team, is a LinkedIn writing session. This is a great time for people to get together, everyone post and share their unique story of why working at your organization means so much to them. Is there a reason for why they're there? Is there a fun story that they can share? Is there an experience that's happened that's really moved them? And so whether together or virtually, whether you're a team of 1 or 25, sit down, come up with a couple prompt ideas and write these LinkedIn posts, and then start to have people share them across their channels. So this is just an employee thing, but it helps people love to support and recognize what you're doing. This example on here is I just hired my first employee, a brand partnerships manager, Kat, and I shared this with my audience, and people were so excited to celebrate with me that this was happening. I have 170 plus likes, and I can't read it, 40 comments of people just giving shout outs. So if everyone, I think we're often afraid to, I don't know if it's afraid, but think our personal stories don't matter. They do. People to people connections all day, right? People want to support people. They are following you. They want to be excited for what you're doing in your career. So I'm sure there are countless amazing stories of something that's moved you in your work. And so I really recommend taking advantage of LinkedIn for this. Don't sleep on LinkedIn. It's a hugely beneficial platform. Another social media idea, we did not do this with Clio, but the idea of going live, there were some really clever, this was from the Circus and the Sarasota Opera that did a collaboration with the Child Protection Center 2 years ago. Highly recommend going live, talking about 2 years ago, like it's coming again. We're so excited. This is what we're going to be fundraising for. Again, just give a shout out, a highlight, talk about what's been happening in the organization. Going live sends those push notifications. It does not have to be anything formal by any means, but it is something great if you have people ask them during the live again to comment I'm in or a keyword. And then again, you can start to have that automatic messaging go out. Deb is asking about prompt ideas for employees. Yeah, just if there's anything for LinkedIn, like if you wanted to, I don't know, a prompt could be share the most memorable moment of 2023 working for X. Like that's an example. Or what was if you have an interesting hiring story of being at your organization. I don't know, maybe you guys did something on Giving Tuesday and everybody shares their different perspective on how it went. I mean, there's a bunch of different, that's what I mean by prompts. You could have like a couple different prompts like that your employees could choose from. John is asking, is there a word limit that you recommend for LinkedIn personal notes? No. Whatever. No, not really. I've done super long ones. The one thing I'll say about LinkedIn when they tend to perform really well is having a really good hook, a really good compelling sentence at the top. So mine, I know this is really hard to see, but it says, I've been a solopreneur for nearly 7 years and knew it was the time to grow. Please give a big warm welcome, clap emojis, to my brand partnerships manager, Kat Skeen. So, immediately from the get-go, like, I just want you to like throw down some, and I know that there's a clap emoji on LinkedIn. So that's what I was going for, is for people just to put the clap hand emoji there. And so it's just like, what is that immediate first line hook? Word limit. Samantha's asking for captions in Instagram and Facebook. No, honestly, the good content is good content. There is no like best practice for like, if it's something that's compelling, again, I would still say with any caption, you want to sound human. I know that sounds so silly. Go back to those 2 questions that I said at the beginning, about what's timely, what's the impact that's trying to happen. Do I sound like a person or do I sound too corporate when I'm saying this? And again, have like that hook at the very beginning. I'm going to bounce through a couple of things just so we can get to a couple of questions at the end. We launched our ads. I talked about the leads. Another one that you can do is like an awareness campaign, really cheap for 1 to 2 days of a video view. And so you're just launching it for like $1 a day on a video ad that you have. And I will share this with you so you have it after the fact. But you can share this just with your warm audience if you wanted to. People have visited your website, who engage with your social channels and your email list. Number 2, social ad, lead generation these are examples of the lead magnet that I was talking about, of the bull lead and the Ethiopian. And then these were what the ads looked like. Roots Ethiopia completely rocked it. They had 404 new emails at 98 cents each. It was incredible in 7 days. It was amazing. I have a link if you want to join. It's actually kind of perfect timing. I'm launching this challenge in March again for a small group of orgs, and I have a code for you guys if you want to take advantage of that to sign up to be able to learn how to run lead generation ads. So this is all This is all happening right now. We're growing our email list. We're getting people excited. We're letting them know that it's happening. During the event, first thing, we want to have fun. We want to have a good time. Good energy is contagious. That is for sure. So this is a really fun reel that the Clio team put together to kick it off. So super fun, really easy, simple music. They did this with their Gen Clios. They had a donation dance. I mean, how fun is that? So obviously go with what's on brand for your organization, but having fun, showing people that you're having a good time throughout the 24 hours is really important. So same thing during checklist. We did another reel to kick off the event, which was moving kind of like the poster around and telling people about the Give Miami Day. I highly recommend, because people are going to be donating not on your website, and there might be some confusion around that, have a pop-up or a banner on your own website that is driving traffic to the Giving Challenge site. If people end up going to your donation page or they end up going to your homepage and you want them to be donating on the Giving Challenge page, make that easy for them to access. Number 2, emails. And I know you're going to think email fatigue. Oh my goodness, this is so many emails. Not really. You should have seen, I was actually very surprised on like Giving Tuesday, which I kind of compare this to. I would get sent one, and it was almost like people were afraid to email me again. However, on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I had like 40 emails from Nespresso for me to buy their coffee. And sure enough, middle way through, I bought their coffee. And I think why we have to remember that we are all so busy. On Giving Tuesday, I was just coming back from, I had a round of COVID, then my baby girl got COVID, and my husband then got COVID, and it was a hot mess central over here. And I wanted to donate, but I needed to be like knocked on the head to remind me, oh yes, I was going to do that. And then I had to go change a dirty diaper. Or yes, I was going to do that, but thank you again for the reminder. So don't feel like you're bombarding too much. So day before, day of, send an update, end of day, second day AM, another update, and then a final. And I think the most important one out of all of these, though, is a personalized thank you email. And I'm going to show you an example. Again, if you have SMS, text messaging is so powerful. There are great tools to do this affordably. Highly recommend doing text messaging. It was the channel where definitely was the lowest amount that I received from nonprofit organizations. So if you can make that happen, super powerful. Continuing on social media. And then again, if you are having some sort of in-person experience, make sure to document it. So this is an example of a personalized email that I received after donating on Giving Tuesday. Of course, I got their automated like thank you receipt email, but everyone does that. What does everyone not do? This was so cool. Joe sent me this. We're so pleased to see such a generous first-time gift. He acknowledged I was a first-time donor. Wait, before even that, the subject line, you just did a wonderful thing. Immediately, I was like, oh, what did I do? Yes, I want to open this. First time gift from you. We'd like to welcome you into the Paws Atlanta family. You are making it possible for wonderful animals, etc. Right? And then he shares this adorable photo of dog Bob is just one of the nearly 1,000 at-risk animals we rescue this year. On behalf of Bob and all the animals, thank you for believing in second chances. This was sent directly from the executive director's email. I'm sure this was something they created as a template in advance, and he just customized it with my name, but it was something that they pre-wrote that was going to go out to all first-time donors. Don't care if it was a template or not. It's adorable. And the photo was right in the body of the email. So loved this. Another example is if you have a video thanking tool like a ThankView or Loom or something like that that you can send out where people can reply or download or share, that's also amazing. So I want to go right here real quick just to make sure, because I saw some new people come in before we go to Q&A and any final questions here, but make sure to mark and sign up for. Do you have a link for these yet to register?
Yes, and we'll be sending them after to everyone who has participated in the live training so that they
Okay.
can sign up.
Okay, so make sure to mark these down because there's a lot that we went over today. And these sessions, again, bring your emails, bring social posts. If you have a strategy document, like we can talk through it, and I think it'll be helpful for everybody in like kind of a small group setting. And then lastly, if you want to start running a lead generation challenge to grow your email list in advance, I'm offering $100 off for anybody that wants to participate. It'll be 4 calls in March for us to do that together to build the lead magnet and get your ads out. So you can scan that. And then we have a few minutes and I wanted to see if anybody has any questions. And then also if there's any specific social channels that you wanted to discuss. It goes by so fast. And I hope that was very helpful. If there's one thing, I love to always ask, like drop a 1 in the chat if there's one new thing that you think you'll take advantage of from today to implement. Yay, lots of ones. Joyce says we have received anonymous donations where we only have a generic email address. How might we personalize emails to them? Even, Joyce, a personalized email to me means it's not sent from your email tool, but it's sent from somebody, like an employee's email address. So you can tell it looks like it's from Outlook, or it looks like it's from Gmail. It doesn't look like it's from like a MailChimp or Constant Contact or something like that. It can be that simple as a personalized email. And you can even put in a video. It doesn't have to say somebody's name. Or you can, if you have a group of anonymous donations, you can even like kind of play that up. Be like, we don't know who you are and it's driving us crazy, but we're so thankful for you. We just wanted you to know, like something like that. Yes, the writing party. Writing party is so fun. You can do the same thing with your thank you notes. Yay, I love how actionable it is too. Thank you. That's what I hope to do. Let's see, write video postcard. What is the best way to determine the strongest social channels for your donors? So, John, I mean, I would look to say, where do you see the most engagement? The other way to do this is if you have Google Analytics, you're able to see which social channel drives the most traffic to your website. And then I would focus on that place. Rachel, how many times do you recommend posting on social media during the giving challenge? It depends on where, like it depends on which channel. So I'll stop sharing really quick. And actually, let me pull up. I'll show you what Clio's Instagram looked like. So this is their Instagram. So this is kind of like their countdown to it being the giving challenge. So we had a lot of stuff happening pre. This was some of our reels. This was pre, it's all pre, 3, 2, 1. So we had 1, 2, I think theirs was also longer. Theirs was 3 days long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts. But we changed it up. But I would say that we had a reason for our content that was planned out. We did it purposely based upon how many programs they have that we wanted to talk about, and acknowledge all of them, plus do some fun things, and do some like updates and theme ones. So there was a reason for the strategy and the approach. Oh, and then as an example, I wanted to also have this. This is one of the emails that we sent out in advance. So we had the poster at the top, obviously personalized with the first name. This one was talking specifically about their Climate Speakers Network. We invite you to mark your calendar on the 16th. And again, our call to action here was reply, I'm in, to this email to be a part of the Give Miami Day. And then I think my one change there, subject line was, you are igniting change through the Speakers Network, Dana. And then my change was to put the first name first and then have the line. And then this, I also was going to show you, this is ManyChat, the tool, where you can set up that kind of like if this, then that concept. And I will put the link in the chat for everyone. Janet, the sense of fun is very apparent in your visual messaging. How did you cultivate that vibe so effectively? Good question. I mean, I think it was the nature of what we wanted people to feel as a part of being part of our community during Give Miami Day. So it was, what is our copy going to be? What are the visuals going to feel like? And it was just kind of this following the theme of, we were choosing certain content types to make it be fun and feel on brand for them. Tori, I totally get it. I'm a one-woman marketing team too. I'm right there with you. And prioritizing all the different pieces. This is why I say it from the very beginning. Do not be and do like all the things. Like prioritize, where does it make sense for you to spend your efforts? And that's why pick 1 to 2 channels. You're starting in February. This is a great time to templatize and plan things out in advance. We pre-drafted emails in Google Docs, and then we scheduled them. Another amazing resource, if you have a little bit of budget, I highly recommend, this is something I have done too, is hiring a VA, a virtual assistant. Very affordable. You can get somebody for, I think I was paying, and they had a deal like $500 a month for 10, 20 hours. And it is called, oh, I just sent it to somebody earlier today. More Than Giving. Here it is. They're specifically nonprofit virtual assistants. This is also something really great to have on your team to stand up during just this campaign time if you want to have help with social content creation at a low budget for a month-to-month period of time. Was Clio competing with other organizations? It was the exact same thing as the Giving Challenge. They had prizes. It was actually, you guys have way more prizes than Give Miami Dade does. Same exact concept of empowering Miami nonprofits. Yeah, I know we're slightly over time, but I hope this was so helpful, and I will be around in those 2 February calls for us to continue brainstorming together. And I thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Dana. I'm going to stop the recording.